Right, and question 6. I actually do hope that whole lot is helping you a little bit. Question 6, you've got a question on a species called the red kites. They are birds of prey. Looking at the beak, you will be able to identify that. This bird of prey has become low in numbers in Scotland, and efforts to breeding efforts have helped increase their numbers. So the first question that you have got on them here is a pure maths question, and it's got a little nastiness inside it. You've got it's increasing in so many percent from 248 single red kites. That could be a male or could be a female. However, it then asks you at the end the number of breeding pairs, so somewhere the factor 2 has to creep in. It's a bit of a sneaky question to do that one here. So if at the start your 284 is your 100% and you're now increasing to 1025%, the factor that I'm looking for in your calculation is I'm looking for you to multiply it by those factors. So your original mark needs to be multiplied by 1025 divided by 100. So that's your 10.25 factor. So it's an increase from 100% to just over 1000%. That's your factor there. And then divided by 2 because it's breeding pairs. It's a bit of a sneaky one. 1,455 is what you're meant to be getting to. Right, then your follow-on question here. Where they were being reintroduced, why do the numbers increase much more rapidly in an area where they weren't there beforehand, so where the kites were absent beforehand? Key arguments you need to get in there. If you haven't got red kites there yet, you will not yet have any predators for the red kites. You will not yet have any other red kites competing over food and nesting places. So fewer predators and less intra-specific competition. Also no food competition, and also if you've got a low density, it's the density dependent factors like disease that is not yet there. Okay, follow on question here. Explain why we need to keep those nest sites secrets. We've got poachers, hunters, egg collectors that literally will thieve around and risk the life of those little baby birds. And follow-on question from that is, how can we, 2 ways in which society, and that is avoiding using words you need to use in your answers. The word society is avoiding using the words you need to be using. 2 ways in how we can, as scientists, as government decision makers, as educators, how can we improve the survival rates? So think of what that word, if it says something that you think, hold on a second, why are they using this word? It's because they don't want to use words you need to use. So legislation, can something be done from a political angle? Education, can something be done from a raising awareness angle? Science, can something be done with regards to breeding? Can something be done with regards to the poisoning and the grouse shooting? So legislation as one of the arguments needs to be used somehow. Education, again, legislation around poisons, and then scientifically introducing feeding sites and breeding programs. So any 2 from that list, nicely argued. Okay, this following, I know that I taught this at GCSE level a few years back. The SSSI is the size of specific scientific interest, but I'm kind of thinking back, have I taught you guys this or not? I'm thinking I might have mentioned it, but not specifically enough, because too many of you didn't have that. It's one of those little side notes that came with the units. What you did well, though, is that there's some form of protection in those sites. So there's no building, there's no interference from humans in any version. So site of special scientific interest, and it's a site which is protected from any development or damage caused by people around it. And that was question 6.